Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. It was in his gospel, brother, of the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just a quick lesson through the world, lesson through the spirit. I don't know how quick it's going to be. Lord's will, it ain't that long. So I don't really want to harbor on this topic too long, but this is a guy by the name of Tommy G, which is a YouTuber. I tried to do a little research on him in a short amount of time. And basically, he's a YouTuber, and he goes around and he films different events that people kind of portray on their YouTube channels, whether it be snowboarding or any crazy thing. And the latest one he did was on the quote-unquote Black Hebrew Israelites and what happens to be General Yohana's camp. Now, it's kind of crazy because, for one thing, he interviewed the isupk. You had Tazariak, you had a couple of the captains in the video, and they showed them doing the workout regimes, calisthenics, and all this other shit, right? And then this guy goes and put the video up, and basically this is what it's called. And I don't want to play it because, they be tripping. But it says, inside a hate group, the Black Israelites. But the thing of it is, if Tazariak was aware of this, why would they go ahead and allow this guy to interview them and infiltrate them like that? Which makes me question the validity of these other Israelite camps, man, whether they're actually doing this for Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, or filthy lucre. Because for one thing, Red Flag to me is an organization that's always uniform. Like, you got a bunch of guys that wear black or a certain color. That's kind of suspect, okay? Because that right there shows you are dealing with the PR firm, which is a public relation firms, and you have to be kind of juiced in to some degree. I mean, if you can afford it, then you can afford it. But usually people that's dealing with PR firms are looking to make money, and there's some type of 501c3 attached to it somewhere down the line. Okay, and we know that these isupk guys, man, they ain't really the most influential or the look up to Israelite group out there, and I'll just say it that way, because they've had a lot of controversies about them. For one thing, they call themselves black people. They call themselves niggas. They call themselves, it's like they're trying to appear to the world to be these black militant groups, and they ain't nothing but Black Panthers with a Hebrew Israelite logo on it. That's all the fuck they are. Okay, and you got this guy, Tommy G, that basically did a documentary, 33-minute documentary. Pretty sure he chopped it up. It's probably more. But he said inside of a hate group, the Black Israelites. Now, those are buzzwords. Black, that's a buzzword, okay, for government orders, okay? Then inside a hate group and black. Those are two particular trigger words that government officials or government entities tend to home in on, okay? Because this, put it to you this way, the dossiers they had on the Black Panthers, the guerrilla unit group, these other factions that rose up in the 60s and the 70s to overthrow Esau. Esau has a dossier on all these groups, okay, including the isupk. So you let a known agent like this guy, Tommy G, come in and do an interview of your said endeavors. You're showing them workouts and calisthenics. To me, this seems like a clout grab, man. And we keep telling you about these isupk dudes. These dudes are not spiritual, okay? From their head, General Yohana, to their second in command, Captain Cesariak, General Mahanian. Them dudes are not spiritual, man. Okay, I don't care how fucking erratic they sounds and trying to be the greatest orator. All that, look, the Lord ain't dealing with none of that shit, all right? And the Lord ain't dealing with a bunch of Negroes that's wearing black, doing fucking push-ups and sit-ups, man. That's why everybody in a group fucking fat or big, or they just muscle-bound. They look like muscle-bound NPC characters off a fucking beat-em-up game in the 90s, man. I don't know if you brothers are familiar with the game called Double Dragon. They had this big blockhead, swole nigga by the name of a Bobo. And everybody in the UPA and the isupk camp, you always got a General Yohana clone in every goddamn USPK camp. Okay? Short, stocky, fat, big up top, big belly, you know what I'm saying? Small at the bottom. And that's just what it is with these men, man. So our advice to you brothers out there, maybe you may be new, you may be looking for a camp home or whatever. Stir clear of these guys. For one thing, we ain't finna just let anybody come in and interview us. Like, the fuck you want to interview us for? Our message is straightforward. We go out to the streets and we prophesy the end of a system. And we proclaim the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai. Then we go home. It's just that simple. Okay, I ain't got brothers in the back doing sit-ups and chin-ups. Brother, you ain't gonna be on the line today unless you do 200 chin-ups before camp. Hey, this nigga coming to camp, shoulders hurting like a motherfucker. He can't even hold the scriptures because I got him in the back doing pull-ups, man. Nah. Now, we train with brothers, that's on our own accord. That's what we do on our leisure time. Brothers want to hit the punching bag or, get in the mitts and the gloves. We do things like that as brothers on our leisure time. But that's not part of our curriculum. That's not our doctrine. Okay, I don't tell brothers, hey, you got to be at my house 3 p.m. on Saturday so I can teach you how to throw a cross hook. Nah. the fuck, man? But it's kind of suspect, and I really want to play some of this video. But like I said, I know how these content creators, they really be tripping, especially when they want to take our pages down. They will swat at a net just to get us up out of here. So I'm not going to do that. You can type in this on YouTube inside a hate group, because actually this video was sent to me yesterday and I sent it to the group chat, and then now everybody's doing videos on it. That's the spirit. You know what I'm saying? I was sent it yesterday and they was like, well, have you seen this? And I looked at it, I'm like, no, I haven't really saw this. So I kind of looked at it a little bit yesterday, then fell asleep on it. But I knew by the morning time brothers was going to be all up on this shit. So I'm just like, okay, let me go ahead and send this to the group chat. So therefore, brothers can do their responses to it, because I already knew what it was going to be. But I received this video probably last night around 8:30, maybe 9 o'clock. Then I sent it to the group chat like around 9 o'clock. Now all the brothers got it. So I actually sent the video out because it was sent to me. But brothers may have brothers probably already had it already. But this is kind of suspect. See, like Apostle Bar, he said, if you want to know about this Israelite thing, Great Millstone is the, see what he said.
Patiently.
Great Millstone is the avant-garde. Okay, now let me look that up, because Apostle Bar, he be putting them words in there. Avant. See what he mean, because he go into the words. It says new and unusual or experimental ideas, especially in the arts of people introducing them. Okay, experimental or unusual ideas in the arts of literature. The term avant-garde, French meaning advanced guard or vanguard, identifies an experimental genre of work, art, and artistry. And the UPK dudes ain't it. All right, so anyway, let's go here to the book of Acts 17. This is the book of Acts 17, and I'm going to start at verses 3. Matter of fact, let's start at verses 3. No, start at 4. It says, and some of them believed and consorted with Paul and Silas, and of the devout Greeks a great multitude, and of their chief women not a few. But the Jews which believed not, moved with envy, and took unto them certain lewd fellows of a baser sort, and gathered a company, and set all the city on an uproar, and assaulted the house of Jason, and sought to bring them out to the people, because you still had a group of people of the circumcision that didn't correspond with the Israelite foreigners coming into the fold. Now, when you go into this group, isupk, this dude, what's this guy's name again? Polo. No, I keep wanting to call him Polo G. His name is not Polo G. I don't know why I keep calling him that. Tommy G. But basically, he was asking, he was like, well, can I join this group? Cesariah like, no, because you're not of our nation. Well, Cesariah, how do you know he's not an Israelite? How do you know that? Because he was like, well, what if I got a black queen as a mother, but I have a white father? He said, well, then you can't join. But wait a minute, it ain't up to you necessarily to know who's going to come into the truth, because the spirit say, or the scriptures say, that we know by the spirit, through the spirit, that we're the children of the Most High. So just because a guy looks like an Edomite doesn't make him an Edomite. And I've done a lesson on that 2 days ago. My cousin's daughters, they look like straight white girls, but yet they're fucking, I think my uncle, he may have been a Reubenite. I think he was a Reubenite. So that means that his son, my first cousin, is a Reubenite, okay? And he looks like a Northern Kingdom dude because he got an Edomite mama, but my uncle was a Jake. And his 2 daughters look like straight white girls, but yet his line goes back to his father, which is an Israelite. So them 2 little white girls are Jakes, man. Okay, it's about the spirit. But he told him, well, you can't join. How the fuck do you know he's an Israelite? Okay, prime example, like Nigerians, right? They'll say, oh, you a Hamite. How do you, Nigerians are Israelite. Clearly they're Israelites. And you cut yourself because you call yourself a nigger, but then you go into Acts the 13th chapter to justify calling yourself a nigger by the name of, matter of fact, let's go here, get it. Simeon, which was called Niger, okay, which means black, right? Now, you would call a Nigerian a Hamite, but yet they got the same surname of Niger or nigger. Okay, if you look on a map, you have what they call Negro land, man, so-called black people. So basically, you call the people of the western and north coast of Africa Hamites, and they're known to be Israelites because a lot of jigs come from that side of the land or side of the world, you know? So it's about what you look like with them dudes. They're not spiritual. So if they seen Al Pacino walk up and he wants to join the camp, they'll say, nah, because you an Italian, not knowing that I believe Al Pacino's father may be a Manassite and his mother's Sicilian. So he's Jake on both sides for real. But they would judge you based on what you look like, which is not a spiritual. These dudes are not spiritual. Okay, but the biggest thing is you let a fucking agent come in and get whiff of what's going on. That's why I'm kind of skeptical about these other groups, man. Because a lot of these other groups are going to be used in the time that they roll on us, man. Because a lot of these guys are going to be accusers towards the men of the Lord, like they did Yahushai. They set up men. They try to seek men from all coasts of Israel to be a false witness against the Lord. And none of them could give an account of what Yahushai did that was off, but yet they still crucifying them anyway. So these groups like UPK, IUIC is another one. You know what I'm saying? Me, I steer clear the fuck away from them. Okay, in my opinion, I believe that leadership is nothing but the feds. Okay, they're highly tied with law enforcement. Okay, and then you got Sakari, you know, that group. Look, in my opinion, I believe these dudes are really paid agents. And like I said, this Israelite thing has been infiltrated 10 times over. So you got to be very, very careful on who you deal with and who you let into your group, man. Okay, seriously, like when you come to this, we have a very serious vetting process. And sometimes a guy has to stay on the other side of the line for 3 years. And you know what? It'll prove his character if he's really sincere or not. If he has a problem with being on the other side of the line for 3 years and he hasn't crossed into the camp yet, then that shows you that he wasn't meant to be there anyway. He could just walk off into the sunset. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you got to see how guys fare with shit. If they get impatient, then it ain't for them anyway. So we have a very heavy, rigorous vetting process. We don't just let anybody into the camps, man. And we're not obligated to do shit for you. Okay? You have to work out your own salvation. But anyway, it reads here, but it says, but the Jews which believe not, moved with envy, took unto them certain lewd fellows of a baser sort, and they gathered company, and set the city on uproar, and assaulted the house of Jason, and sought to bring them out to the people. And when they found them not, they drew Jason and certain brethren out to the rulers of the city, crying, these that have turned the world upside down are come hither also. Okay, so that's the point. You're going to have men that's going to come into this thing, and they're going to, like, baser sort, baser fellows, lewd fellows, man, of a baser sort, grimy niggas, man. Okay, and this is the vibe I'm getting from this group here, because why would you let a YouTuber that I'm pretty sure you're very well aware of the content he posts, and then he label inside of a fucking hate group, and then you cool with that? Like, you could sue that nigga for defamation and say, nah, we ain't a hate group and we ain't black people, man. I will sue that motherfucker, man. So let's see what y'all gonna do about that, because that's basically putting a target on the back of the ministry. Like the Lord said it. He said, abstain from all appearances of evil. You let this fucking YouTuber come in and then he label you niggas a hate group. But what I realize with you guys, you like that controversy. You like being called black people and cults and niggas, and you know, you sound like you niggas sound like you still in a damn 60s somewhere, man. Okay, what happened to the transparency of teaching? What happened about being transparent, man? Which you guys are not. Okay. But it says here, in whom Jason had received, and these all do contrary to the decrees of Caesar, saying that there is another king, one Yahushai. And they troubled the people and the rulers of the city when they heard these things. And when they had taken security of Jason and the others, they let them go. Okay? But that's the point, man, is so they set up men of baser sort. When you go into base, these were like grimy skid row jakes, man. Okay, like I remember a while ago, the apostle was going into the UPK. They said that most of those men don't go beyond a third grade education, man. he, he called them skid row jakes. So you got to be careful with these dudes. And like I kept telling you, man, the isupk is not spiritual by far. Okay, those guys are in it for the money, just like all them other groups. Okay, I feel like GMS is the most transparent when it comes to actually teaching the doctrine and really being sincere about the Heavenly Father's work. We ain't got no gimmicks, no 501c3s. We ain't got none of that. But through the Spirit, we still growing, and we're getting the work done, man. Okay, we ain't got we don't have to have rap entertainment studios come and sign a deal with us just so we can get our views up. Okay, you don't see brothers putting cash app handles in their pages. When have you ever saw me or any brother in our camps that tag their cash app handle in a damn video and say, look, support? Okay, if people want to support our ministry, they would sincerely support. They were like, okay, well, do you guys have Cash App or PayPal or Zelle? You know, all these things that we can fund your ministry. And then if they come with that angle, then we may say, well, yeah, we take, you know, we'll take it, or it's either yeah or nay. But even then, we don't need to take money from everybody because, you know, we just don't know. You know, there's been several people that offer to bring things up to the camp and want to give us things, and the Spirit be like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Don't accept that from that individual, because, you know, they have a history of being flaky. You know what I'm saying? So you have to really be discerned in the Spirit to know what's what. And this is not a good look at all. And people may say, oh, it's just a documentary. Yeah, it's a documentary, but look at what the hell he called it. Okay, look, matter of fact, let's go here. My response to ISUPK Tommy G, the video entitled Inside a Hate Group. That's the point. A hate group. That's the buzzword. You know? And then the nigga gonna say, well, you know, it was black people, but then I guess because they wanted to get the following and the numbers up, then they allowed it Hispanics and Native Americans. You see how Esau tried to throw a monkey wrench in that? To still try to label a black group, because you can't call us black Hebrew Israelites because we got Hispanics and Native Americans in our camps. Okay, everybody in these Israelite camps ain't just Negroes, man. And a lot of brothers that look like Negroes are actually Gadites, man. They're actually Northern Kingdom brothers. Okay, and that's just the reality of it is. Like my mother, on my mother's side, or she's a Gadite. You know what I'm saying? My father's a Levite. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, I still have certain features that will be of a Gadite. You know, because my mother, on my mother's side, but I'm a so-called Negro or Haitian on my father's side, man. But they show you right there that everybody in these camps ain't black. Okay, like I ain't nowhere near black. I'm not the color of my phone. Okay, I'm probably the lightest brother in my camp, man. So how can you call us black Hebrew Israelite? Look at Apostle Ramlab. He's an Ephraimite. He ain't got a black blotch of skin on his body, man. Apostle Tahar's a Levite. He's damn near light as me. Okay. Apostle Rakar, he's not a dark skinned brother. He's a ruddy brother, kind of red, man. So you Jakes, man, are not spiritual. Anyway, Galatians 2, and I'm gonna start at verses let's start at verses 4, and it says, and that because of false brethren unawares brought in. A lot of these guys come in, you don't know whence they come. It says, who came in privily to spoil our liberty, which we have in Yahushua, that they may bring us into bondage. And that's what this is, man. Okay, you got false witnesses. You got men that have ulterior motive to bring, you know what I'm saying, charges up on the ministry because they were set up to do that. You know, like, look at this, 1 Corinthians 15, and I'm going to start at verses 15. Matter of fact, it says, yea, and we are found false witnesses of the Most High, because we've testified of the Most High that he raised up Yahushua, whom he raised not up, if so that he be dead, rising not. Now, this is going into the account that if Yahushua isn't raised from the dead, then we will be false witnesses. But they witnessed Yahushua. Okay, you had the disciples that witnessed him. I believe he was with the disciples 40 days after he rose, and then he went back to the spirit world, if I'm not mistaken. I believe so, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check. Let me fact check that. How long? Shit. was the Lord with the after his resurrection. It should be 40 days. Yep, 40 days. Yep. So I had it right. Con. False witness. False witness. And I ended after this. This wasn't going to be a long lesson because, like I said, I didn't thoroughly go into that video, but just the first 10 minutes, I kind of understood what they were speaking about. So I'm speaking on what I've caught from the video. I'm sure brothers are going to go in on it. Let's start Matthew's 26 and 59. It says, now the chief priests and elders and all the council saw false witness against Yahweh to put him to death. Okay, so this is what's going on in these camps. Like I said, I'm not finna let anybody just come and interview us, man. And then they twist that shit. Oh, can we interview Great Millstone? And then all of a sudden the video goes up. Then all of a sudden we a racist hate group. It's wild. But we understand it, we get it. But it says, but found none. Yea, though many false witnesses came, yet they found none. At the last came 2 false witnesses and said, this fellow said, I am able to destroy the temple of Yahweh and to build it up in 3 days. And the high priest arose and said it to him, answers thou nothing? It says, what is it that these witness against these? And Yahweh held his peace. And the high priest answered and said unto him, I adjure thee by the living power that thou tells us whether thou be Yahweh, the Son of the Most High. Because they in the spirit, they knew it was him. They knew. They was troubled by it because they weren't fucking right anyway. They knew. You know what I'm saying? And when he was talking about raising up the temple, he was actually talking about himself. Okay, in 3 days, he was going to rise from the dead. And also it's spiritual because the scriptures say in the 3rd day I will raise thee up. The temple of God is the Israelites, and we were broken down for those 2 days. Now we're coming back into life now. We're getting resurrected. So we undergo our crucifixion process. We're undergoing it now as Yahweh did. And when we get those new bodies, that's going to represent that resurrection, that new, when we get those new bodies. You know what I'm saying? So it's basically the elect is going through a crucifixion. That's a whole sit down. The elect is going through the crucifixion process now, like Yahweh did, man. Okay. The spiritual symbolic, the Lord has said in 3 days and 2 days, roughly paraphrasing, 3rd day I will raise thee up, and Yahweh rose on the 3rd day as well. Well, the 4th day technically, but 3 days and 3 nights. Okay, which is 4 days. So you rose up on that 4th day. But anyway, I'm going to end it giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim Rakakwadash. Lord's will you edify into the next lesson. Shalom.